Well, hello, Brand DNA graduate, and welcome to Make Your Brand DNA Make Sense. This online course is designed to help you learn how to leverage your brand DNA by creating multisensory experiences that keep your customers coming back. I'm Suzanne Tulene, co-founder of the Brand Ascension Group, and I want to acknowledge you for your continued efforts at brand elevation. You know, this is a great program to involve some of your key employees, if you have them. Getting them more engaged in creating tangible, brand-relevant actions will help them own it and live it and through. So this program is exclusive to and only available to you, the Brand DNA graduate, as you now have the critical information and base knowledge about the development of your brand DNA, which all of these graduate programs really build off of to help you continue to operationalize and implement your unique brand DNA as your business continues to evolve. So in this session, we'll show you some great examples of how brands have used the senses to create memorable experiences that have enhanced the perception of their brands, creating distinction and keeping their customers coming back for more. So let's get started. We'd like to kick off this learning session with a quick reminder question. Do you remember from the Brand DNA sessions how many impressions of your brand are formed in the first 7 seconds of customer contact? You know, with all we know about how we experience life through our human senses, how many impressions can we pick up on in such a brief moment? Remember, in the 4th module of Ignite Your Business Brand DNA, we learned a bit about the power of all of our 6 senses and touched on how our customers use these senses to make buying decisions. So the answer to the question is, believe it or not, 11 impressions in just 7 seconds of contact with your brand. This statistic should make you really think about what you do in the first 7 seconds of contact with your customer. Now remember, this is their moment to make many gut decisions about you through all the things that they take in through their senses. So now, with your completed brand DNA, you can make sure your customers and your prospects create positive emotional responses that are congruent to your brand in the first 7 seconds of contact. Because you know what? If you don't define and manage your own brand's experience, your customers will. This means that you can control the overall perception of what you want your customers to walk away with. If you're consciously and proactively designing powerful brand experiences through every facet of the customer's experience. So keep that in mind with this next slide and through the rest of the program. As human beings, we have 3 basic ways of communicating when we're face-to-face. Think about this. We have body language, we have, of course, words, and then there's the tone of voice. Do you think one is more important than the other? Well, there has been some research on these various forms of communication and a lot of debate on whether one is more important than the other. One thing we do know is the 3 forms are essential and apparent when communicating face-to-face. So words, tone of voice, and body language must not only be consistent with one another, they must actually support each other. If not, one may easily cancel out the other. Suppose, for example, I say to you in a friendly tone of voice, I'm really interested in hearing more about what you just said, so tell me more. And at the same time, I'm looking at my wristwatch. So what is your interpretation of that action? Well, neither the positive words or the pleasant tone of voice really matter because one form of communication, body language, canceled out the other 2. And the person receives a confused message. So same thing, if I'm on the phone and I say the same thing to you, but then you hear in the background me typing on the keyboard or something like that, what message does that send? Is the message incongruent with the words we just heard? It's very interesting. So now take a look at your brand DNA, specifically your style attributes, and start keeping these forms of communication top of mind in the first 7 seconds of contact with a customer and throughout the entire interaction. So think of ways to be more congruent with your unique brand style, with what actions, what words, and what tone or pitch best suit that brand style. So you can begin creating really powerful brand-relevant combinations with all three ways to communicate to make a very powerful perception on the part of your consumer. Okay? So if we think about what impressions we